Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. Okay, today I'm making this video about some ideas that I have, which I'm sure this stuff has already been discussed before, but I still want to, discuss my ideas on it. I know that I'm mostly a white person, so, and it has to do with like Native American tribes and all that. So, I mean, even though I really don't have a place, but I still want to put my input, especially since I've been doing, my family research and all that. And, I have discovered my Native American ancestors and all that type of thing. It's just got me to thinking, especially after realizing how horrible Native Americans and even black people were done back in the day on back. It was pretty horrible, like awful. And it's just sad that, the white people came here, or shall I say the Europeans or whatever, came here and just, pushed the natives off their land and just stole it and just, all that crap. And it was horrible. Okay. And then throwed them on reservations and all that. And basically set things up to where they would have a horrible life and live in misery and poverty and all that. So, even though now here we are, we've moved to the future, it's 2020, a lot of people and a lot of tribes have picked themselves up and are doing well, which is great. And you can't undo the past, and naturally you can't, I guess what you say, rise up and fight the system, so to speak, because, the world has already been, implemented the way that it is. We're all a modern world. No matter what you do or how you look at it, here we are. There, unless everything shuts down and all the computer systems fail and, something horrible happens, a catastrophe or something like that, we're pretty much all stuck in a modern world, and we have to accept it. That's just the way it is, But I do have some ideas that I feel like, because there are, even though, there are successful tribes out there that are doing great and everything, there are some that, aren't doing so great. I mean, all you have to do is look at, different documentaries out there, and you can see that there are still people struggling, living on tribes and everything. So I was thinking, and this can also be for the good tribes as well, the ones that are doing well and everything. Okay. But anyway, let me get to my point. Okay. Since I am mostly from Cherokee descent, I mean, that's where my ancestors mostly are. Even, my believed sixth great-grandfather, Chief out of Kula, it is believed that he was kidnapped from the Nipissing tribe in Canada and brought down and raised Cherokee. And his wife, I believe she was taken from a tribe out of Mississippi within that region. And she was also raised within this Cherokee tribe of Tennessee within that area. I believe it's Monroe, Tennessee, within that area. Okay, so they were all raised Cherokee, and then there's all these, these other different people that are Cherokee and all that. So that's basically, where, my ancestry comes from. It's from those different people. And even in other areas on my tree, there's other Native American people that I believe come from the Cherokees. I mean, and it makes sense. I'm in Alabama. That's pretty much where, those and maybe even the tribes that are in like southern Alabama, the different ones, and maybe out of Mississippi, all that, those tribes, are basically where my ancestors came from. So, to honor them, I feel like it would be neat if the different tribes could get together and create like a big, I guess what you say, like a main tribe, maybe of the Cherokees, that could create, like buy land in Muscle Shoals and turn that land, because I know at one time, supposedly a theme park company had, did a big promotion about how they were going to buy a big patch of land in Muscle Shoals and turn it into like a theme park and all that type of thing. But of course that never happened. It fell through. I don't know what the true motives of the company was and what all was involved in that, but it didn't happen. It fell through. Okay. So what I'm thinking is, if these tribes could come together and form this one unity, and I know this sounds crazy to some people, and it's probably, a stupid idea, but I'm still going to tell it anyway, okay? All right. They could come together under this one entity, okay? And they could buy up land in Muscle Shoals, okay? Transform it basically into a reservation or whatever it is that they've got to do to make it Indian lands, in other words, or Native American land. If they can't label it as a reservation due to politics or whatever, then they can just label it, Native American lands or Indian lands, whatever the proper term would be for it, okay? So they could do that, okay? And of course, my recommendation would be to kind of build it up like to where it would drain, because Muscle Shoals, as most people who live around this area know, Muscle Shoals is bad to flood, okay? So if they could kind of build up the land a little bit to kind of make it like on a hill and, give it good drainage and all that, Okay, on this land, they could create a theme park, a Native American-based theme park, okay? And it could have like totem poles and all that type of thing, and, things that would represent the many different tribes of this whole region, that includes Alabama, Georgia, parts of Florida, the Seminoles and all that, Tennessee, North and South Carolinas, Mississippi, this whole eastern region or southern eastern regions of Native Americans. They're different tribes throughout history. They could be represented in the design of this theme park, okay? I mean, naturally, it'd have rides and, most of the things that you would expect to see in a theme park, but it would be designed, with Native American aspects in mind, okay? And so I think that would be a wonderful idea. I just think it'd be great, okay? Also, a casino could be built, because, okay, all right, as some people know, recently there's been a push by Native Americans from a mid-Alabama on down to South Alabama. There's, I reckon, a tribe within that region that wants to create a lottery, a state-based lottery, that would, expand throughout the whole state and everything, which would be wonderful, and I hope that they do. I mean, I really, really hope that this happens, because I would love to see Alabama get a state lottery. I mean, my goodness, no matter how we do it, just get us a state lottery. I mean, good grief. Everybody else around us has it, and everybody else is profiting off of that, and why not give us one? And that way we don't got to drive all the way to these different surrounding states to play the lottery. We could just play it at home, okay? But anyway, all right, like I said, if they could get permission and everything, because I'm kind of hoping that the state lottery is just going to be like either a scratch off and maybe, the numbers, where you just buy a lottery ticket, like a ticket-based type thing, okay? And they would just leave the casino stuff out of it, like the whole gambling thing, because it would work out for Native Americans who, have permission to create their own casino-style gambling. Do you see what I'm saying? So this entity could create, a gambling thing and make it interesting, make it a little different from other places, and, get it to where people would want to come there and gamble. And play the slot machines and the different card games and all that type of thing, okay? I think that would be awesome, okay? So they could do that, okay? They could build apartment complexes surrounding this land or within it. They could create grocery stores. They could create like a manufacturing type thing, but it would actually be where artisans, like Native American artisans, could create jewelry and paintings and just all kinds of artistic stuff, rugs, fabric designs, all kinds of different things that could be sold worldwide. Like they could set up a website that people all over the world could order this stuff, and it could be made by hand, and it could be sent out that way, okay? All right. Also, this Native American entity could build, they could buy other lands and sell rights to lumber. Like even when they purchase this main big patch of land, wherever it is, they could sell the timber rights, and make money off the lumber, okay? All right, then they could buy other lands, and on some of the lands, they could sell the timber and the mineral rights, okay? Make money off that. So, they can investigate, make sure they've got land that's got, good minerals that are in demand. They could do that. They could also buy lands where they could create like big farms or gardens and things like that. Might even can have livestock and whatever. And they could create their own brand of products that people could buy. And it could be more consistent with nature, which I know in today's world, you can't be 100% all the way, which I know a lot of different companies out there are fighting to be, organic or whatever. I mean, they could get as close as they can to, but of course, everybody knows there's all kinds of pests out there. There's all kinds of stuff, but maybe try to get as close as they possibly can and abide by the rules and, make sure that everything's done right, done clean to where nobody gets sick or whatever, just go under the rules, but yet try to make it as natural as possible that would, go basically with the Native American way, so to speak, to keep in line with the whole thought process of that. I think that would be wonderful, and it would make money. So all these things could make money for the main tribe, right? The main entity, okay? Then that money, number one, you got to have your operations costs and expense, repairs and all that. And I even, let me pop it up, I even kind of broke it down because I think it would be a wonderful idea if okay, let me just say this, okay? The tribe could create its own database, get, Native American computer programmers out there and all that stuff, really good educated people. They could create a main, website for this, main entity that would take care, it would have everything that they would need for operations. Number one, it would have a list of all the people within the tribe that that are participating, okay? And also like the information about like maybe their DNA kit numbers, like just like I've heard that more and more tribes are doing is they're using DNA to make sure that people are related to the tribe before they allow, new members and everything like that. I think that's a wonderful idea. That way, that, you know, these people are related, instead of just any John Henry just popping up and saying, oh, I'm Native American, blah, blah, blah. And they're not. I mean, I can understand that, you know, being mostly a white person myself, I can understand that. Okay. So, I think it would be a good idea for, you know, them to do that and, you know, have all that with them to where only they have access to it. Like certain people within the tribe have access to that particular information, but they use that to decide dividends. And I'll explain that in a minute as well. Okay. All right. So they'll have that information on the website. They would have all the businesses and everything that they're in control of on the website. The expenses and payrolls and all that stuff would be on the website. You know, all that information, okay? All right. Then they could, let me look at my notes. Let me look back at them. Make sure let's see. Okay. And also the dividend payout information would be on the website as well. Okay. All right. They could create a system that would decide, just like some tribes do with blood tests and all that, that they've been doing for years, especially the ones out west. You know, they could, like I said, now they could just use the DNA kits, and then they can determine what percentage of Native American that you are through that, okay? And then they can decide what percentage, like when this company makes a profit and after it takes care of its, you know, its expenditures and repair costs and all that stuff and reinvestment costs and, you know, all that type of stuff. All right, maybe like 20% of that could then be used to pay out dividends to all the members of the tribes, okay? All right, and here's my silly idea to take care of dividends, okay? In my mind, I think it would be a good idea to give 40% to anyone who is 75% to 100% Native American. Just think that would be an awesome idea. You know, they would deserve more of the cut, you know. And let's face it, there's going to be less people who are 75% to 100% Native American. I mean, you know, there's just not many full-blooded Native Americans around anymore, okay? All right. Then 25% of the 20% could go to people who are 50% Native American to 74% Native American, okay? All right. Then maybe 14% could go to people who are like 25% to 49% Native American. 10% could go to people who are 10% to 24% Native American. 6% could go to people who are 5% to 9% Native American. 3% could go to people who are 1% to 4% Native American. 1.5% could go to people who are like 0.5% to like 9% Native or 0.9% Native American. Okay, so that, you know, that's close to being 1%. Okay, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so that could be for them, and then the little bit, the 0.5% could be given to people who are 0.1% to 0.4% Native American. But if you, okay, naturally there's all these other people who've been members of the tribe for years and years and years, and if they actually took a test, they probably wouldn't be Native American, because the standard for, you know, being part of the tribe probably was just based on looks or maybe paperwork and all that type of thing. I think that there should be a thing that states that, okay, if you're not willing to do a DNA test and have your DNA, you know, put into a percentage or a percentile, then you will just be a honorary member of the tribe. Okay, so even if you've been a member for years and years and years and you don't want to do a DNA test, then you will be knocked down to an honorary member. Okay, you would still be a card-holding tribe member, but it would just, on the card, it would say honorary member, okay? But if you do test kinship, then there could be certain titles for, like, you know, if it's like 100% or 50% or whatever, then you would have one title, and if it's less than that, then there could be like another type of title or whatever. Not to discriminate against anybody, but to me it would just make more sense, and I just think that it would give more credit to people who are full-blooded, or anywhere from 50% to full-blooded. I mean, those people, in my mind, truly are Native American, and they are the ones who really deserve to benefit from being a Native American. So, you know, that's how I would envision it. And I know I might sound a little cuckoo, and that idea may not go down too well with some people, but that's just how I view it. That's just how I feel about it, and I just think that would be a good idea, and that way it would knock out a lot of people who, because, I mean, if this thing becomes profitable, I think that people who are mostly Native Americans should be the ones who actually do profit from it, and these other people who actually aren't, or who are not willing to prove it through their DNA, they shouldn't benefit from it. I mean, I just don't think that they should. I mean, like I said, they could still be an honorary member, and they can participate in, you know, the different activities and all that type of thing, but I just feel like they just shouldn't actually profit from it. That's just how I feel about it, okay? And I think that there should also, under this entity, there should be chiefs selected, and I think that should be done by people who, you know, really big in the tribal communities, you know, like a group of people, you know, council or whatever, and they should get together and decide who the chiefs are of the different parts of this tribe, like have like the one main head chief over this whole entity, okay? And then underneath him, under these different subgroups, like the Ichota and just, you know, the different ones, there could be other chiefs that are created to represent under this entity. Now, some people may not like this idea. They may think it, you know, they don't want to mess up what they've already got going, and I don't want to, you know, impede on that and mess with that in any way, because I don't have the right to do that. But I'm just running this idea. I'm just throwing it out there, and just seeing what people might think about this idea, whether it's cuckoo or not. But yeah, just, you know, so you guys can let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.